Dark Diaries. Well, my ghoulies, looks like this quaint little town got quite the scare. Be sure to dig up that subscribe button and give the bell a little jangle so you won't be left in the dark for our next chilling tale. You're about to watch The Shadow over Milltown. In the quaint town of Milltown, nestled amidst rolling hills and encircled by an endless forest, life seemed to stand still. Victorian houses, painted in gentle pastels, stood shoulder to shoulder. Teenagers played without a care, and summer days stretched endlessly, their laziness only interrupted by the hum of cicadas. Among these tranquil streets were 5 friends, tied together since childhood by a bond stronger than blood. There was Ella, a schoolteacher with a penchant for literature, Mike, the town's mechanic with grease-stained hands but an unblemished heart, Liam, a quiet librarian whose world revolved around books, Sarah, a young nurse with dreams bigger than the town, and Rachel, a budding journalist with an inquisitive spirit. Their daily lives were simple, and the most challenging decision they had was choosing the location for their annual summer trip. But as teens began to disappear, the weight of dread settled over Milltown. The first to vanish was little Timmy, Rachel's cherubic 7-year-old brother. He had been playing by the old oak tree, and then he was gone. As days turned into weeks, more teenagers disappeared, leaving behind shoes, toys, and unanswered questions. Whispers of the Shade, an old town legend, began to circulate. Desperation led the friends to the town's museum, a place that smelled of mothballs and held relics of Milltown's past. Here, an ancient statue had been unveiled, its visage haunting. The sinister figure, surrounded by marble teens, seemed to exude an aura of malevolence. As Ella's hand brushed the cold stone, she felt an icy shiver. They were intrinsically connected to this artifact. Mike, always the rational one, scoffed at the idea of a statue being behind the disappearances. However, when they encountered the Shade one fateful evening, skepticism turned to horror. It was not one entity but a mirror of their most primal fears. Liam saw his parents turned away, leaving him alone in the vast emptiness. Sarah stood paralyzed as water rose around her, threatening to pull her under. Desperate for answers, Mike recalled Mr. Collins, an old recluse who seemed as ancient as the town itself. Living on the outskirts, his home was an archive of Milltown's history. Collins, with his rheumy eyes, spoke of the statue's cursed origins. Crafted by rival townspeople, it was a prison for the Shade. But like all prisons, this one had weakened over time. As they strategized, Sarah's scream pierced the night. The Shade, capitalizing on her vulnerability, had ensnared her. Time was running out. The group, driven by urgency, searched for the items needed to recreate the mystical chisel. Milltown's old mill, a remnant of the town's industrial past, provided the stone. The feather was procured from a dusty display, once belonging to Milltown's pioneering mayor. And finally, the metal was taken, with hesitation, from the beloved town bell. With the chisel in hand and the town's support, they waged a battle of epic proportions in the museum's echoing halls. The climax was an explosion of blinding light as the statue crumbled to dust, taking the Shade with it. The missing youngsters, dazed but alive, returned. Timmy, clutching Rachel's leg, spoke of visions of past eras, of being with ancestors. The event forged a new identity for Milltown. Once a town forgotten by time, it was now a beacon of resilience. The friends, hailed as heroes, took it upon themselves to become the town's guardians, ensuring that the horrors of the past remained just that, stories from yesteryears. The teenagers, with eyes that held ancient secrets, became living testaments to Milltown's indomitable spirit. In Milltown, where once shadows threatened to engulf, now shone the brilliant light of unity and hope. Ah, it seems our brave band turned the Shade into a mere shadow of its former self, eh, kiddies? Don't ghost away just yet. Drop us a cryptic comment below about how you would have faced the Shade. Fright fans, click next for more chills and hit subscribe to join our ghastly gang.